I don't know where the dealerships are, people, and I don't know where my test drives are, but I want them. I want them. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Nano Pulp. Hope you're having a good day. Dan here, joined by Kit.
Hello there.
Hello, Kit. And today we are going to talk about what everyone's spoken about, but things that we feel need to be in Cyberpunk to really help, in particular, immersion. We're going to kick it straight off. There's no time in wasting.
So, the first thing we want to talk about is obviously the NPC behaviour, or in this case, the lack of behaviour.
Yes.
There is no behaviour.
No.
So, to include that immersion, that was the big thing we want to talk about, immersion in the game, what would help? We were under the impression with NPCs that we'd have the ability to have conversations with them at least.
Yeah.
Meet them in bars, build a form of relation with them. Even some of the material that they would say would fit the scenario you're in at that time and place.
Yeah.
As an example, in the middle of a shootout, somebody's asking you if it's, or telling you that it's nice weather.
Yeah, that's...
At this moment in time. So that seemed a little bit strange.
Yeah.
The other thing you could talk about as well is slightly different mechanics when it comes to things like when you steal people's cars.
Yeah.
You know, they run away or they go into that dock position, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
You know, when something's happening. So you want that ability that not every NPC is the same.
No.
You know, they can act differently. You will have people that run away from you because they're scared. You'll have other people that will challenge you and try and take their car back.
Yeah.
Or have a fist fight with you in the street because they don't like what you've been doing.
Yeah.
You know, how you've been acting, conducting yourself. So that's something. When you have an open world game, when you have an RPG game, and especially when they talked about this being the next big thing, and all this stuff has never been done before.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, they were true about that. It still hasn't been done before, so maybe they didn't lie about that. But, you know, that's what we need.
Yeah.
We need a little bit of depth within the NPCs.
And death as well. I think one of the key things to start with is that day and night cycle that they promised. Seeing that NPCs are living their lives, you know, not just... as has been proven, NPCs going to vending machines, walking around the block and going back to a vending machine and repeating the cycle 24/7 instead of going back to their homes.
This is it. It's like the only obsession the NPCs got is a Kit Kat chunky. They've got no other motivation. Somebody said the other day, didn't we? We watched a video and they said that the NPCs are like zombies in the game.
Yeah.
And I said to you, I went, God, that's offensive. I can imagine like Resident Evil going, oi, yeah, come on.
Yeah.
They're nothing like the zombies we've got in our game.
We apologise, Capcom, for any offence Cyberpunk has given you.
Yeah, I do apologise for that. So yeah, that's my view on NPCs. To help with the immersion, that needs to be changed.
Yeah.
Leading on to the next point about NPCs, that kind of falls onto about the police. So I've got here police, trauma team, and gangs.
Yeah.
So starting off with, if I try and bring them together really a little bit as well.
Mm-hmm.
So police and gangs, for example, have their own vehicles.
Yeah.
So, and we only ever see them parked up at the side of the road.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see a little bit more of both sets of vehicles being able to drive around the city, doing patrol. So, for example, the police would patrol everywhere around the city, apart from Pacifica, because I think there was a comment made about even the police don't go to Pacifica.
Yeah.
And same with the gangs. I'd like the gangs to sort of monitor and patrol their turf, you know? So that I would like to see.
Yeah.
I want to see a bit more of an interaction with that. We talked about the NPC behaviour as well, that the police just pop up like daisies out of the ground. You know, that's been well documented. Everybody's talked about that. So it's not a big surprise what we're mentioning here. But, you know, I love the idea that, you know, I think it's all expression, have you turned a corner in your life?
Yeah.
Kind of falls into Night City. Well, I've turned a corner, therefore I'm no longer involved in crime. You know, seems to be how Night City operates.
Yeah.
That all needs to change. How the police interact with you, how gangs interact with you. But what I would like to see a little bit of there is when you do have those interactions, and let's say it does come to the inevitable shootout you end up having, and you leave death and destruction in your wake.
Yeah.
I would like to see trauma team pay a visit.
And we'll call it trauma time. Yeah, absolutely.
It's trauma time.
We'll have a bit of trauma time. Trauma time's on. Here they come. It's the trauma team.
I'll never dance like that again, by the way, so I apologise. But yeah, I mean, so there was a big thing talked about trauma team.
Yeah.
And that was quite a cool concept. So I think the same thing should happen that, not everybody, it doesn't sort everybody, because I think you had to pay for the privilege of having trauma team.
Yeah.
So it'd still be nice that if you've had a bit of death and destruction in your wake, that at least when you come back, or while the game's still going on in front of you, while it's still playing out in front of you, they come down and they do what needs to be done. That'd be nice.
Especially in the richer areas, as you say. District by district, the police have, you see the police a lot more in those broken down, poor areas of the map, opposed to, you go to the rich areas and you're seeing trauma team all over the place, because every time you pop someone off, they've got a premium membership to it. They're there within a couple of minutes. These are not things that improve the missions or the side missions or anything like that, but they improve that kind of, as you said, immersion in the game.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And kind of very quickly touching on we talked about car shooting, was something we mentioned off camera at one point.
Yeah.
That mechanic of being able to shoot at your car,
yeah,
having car chases, that would fall in the hand of the police and the gangs. So if the gangs are patrolling in the cars, I'd like the ability they could also chase you in their cars. Therefore, if you're driving away, you're going from one district to another, you can pull your gun out, you can fire back while they're shooting at you, because you can do that. Obviously we've got pre-recorded scenes where there's gun shoots going off in cars. There's even a bit where you're involved in the races with Claire, I think her name is, and as you're driving, Claire leans out of the vehicle and fires at the other drivers. So I want to see more of that, that ability to do stuff. That brings us nicely into customization and what things was kind of a mix between what was promised and what was expected.
Yeah.
Weapon customization. Now, yes, silencers, mods, scopes and all that you can put on already.
Yeah.
That's it. You can't put skins and anything like that. And the weird thing is there are weapons in the game that has skins.
Yeah.
So it's not something they haven't thought of, clearly.
No.
It's just a shame we can't utilize that.
You can't influence that yourself,
that decision's taken away from you.
Yeah.
Same with the vehicles. Now the strange thing is that they give you lots of vehicles to purchase, right? To pick up, which is great, fantastic. But there's also that idea of making it your own vehicle.
Yeah.
We talked about either a paint job, or if someone said about, I remember watching the trailer that said interchangeable parts.
Yeah.
So you're sat there kind of going, well, let me take this Jefferson vehicle, turn it into a bit of a nomad mean machine.
Yeah.
With a bit of a paint job on it and all that, and that's my death machine sort of thing.
Yeah.
Gutted that's not available. And I'm sure people talk about it later in the video and go, but that could be a DLC. But we'll talk about that part later on.
Yeah.
But at this moment in time, those sort of things aren't in the game, which I expected to already see.
Yeah.
Very quickly, because there's not a huge amount to talk about this one. Homes. I was led through a trailer, and I think the rest of you guys were as well. Like vehicles, you could pick up a property.
Yeah.
You could evolve your property from an apartment to a mansion. Mm-hmm. You can make it look nice. You can look pretty. You can put maybe your things in it. I don't know. But that's something that seemed to have this idea of what was an option to have in the game.
Yeah.
And I think that would help, because it means it's something else you're working towards, because at the moment, with all this looting mechanism and all this money you can put together, apart from just buying cars, what else is there?
Yeah.
To invest your money in, talking about investing money, obviously, one thing you could, I suppose, or I thought you could have done, was invest money in yourself. So therefore, they talked about your style, and your style mattered an awful lot in Cyberpunk, in Night City. Yes, all right, you have your clothes there, but we thought there was going to be an option where you could put arms on. Like sometimes, actually, it was one of the developers that said themselves, in an interview, sometimes you want to just put some chrome on because it looks good.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what that's supposed to be, whether I'm supposed to be finding some chrome earrings somewhere that I haven't put on yet, but I can't see anything. I think the only metal object I can put on myself for a style is one of those brain dancing things.
This is the thing. It boils down to the simple things as well. Hairstyles. Why can I not change my hair after I've started the game? Why is there no such thing as a hairdresser in Cyberpunk? All these people have this massive flamboyant pink neon hairstyles. You can't tell me they were born with them. They must have gone and got them somewhere. So why can't I go to these places and do something as simple as changing my hairstyle?
Well, exactly. They put their energy in the wrong places. The hairstyle should have been something that was kind of standard.
Yeah.
I mean, it was really funny. We wouldn't have even talked about that before Cyberpunk came out, because if you turned to me and go, do you think you get a haircut in Cyberpunk? I'd have just giggled at you and gone, well, of course you would. I don't know why they wouldn't have that in the game. That's pretty standard for anything.
Yeah.
I mean, So, do you know what? I can even change my hair mid-game in FIFA 21 if I'm a manager.
Yeah.
It's so if FIFA 21 can do it, why can't Cyberpunk? So that kind of baffled me. So there's just sort of kind of, I know there's a big list of other things, but obviously we want a short video. We want to keep this done. We don't trying to entertain you guys, obviously. So, if you want us to go into more details, let us know and we can talk about more stuff. But at the moment, that's what I've got for customization.
Yeah.
The vendors. So what we've seen so far, we've got food places, we've got bars, we've got ripper docks. It's very hard to interact with. So we talked about Japantown, and I remember this scene, and I said that Night City Cyberpunk reminds me of a beautiful picture.
Yeah.
So when you sit back, you look at Cyberpunk, it looks fantastic.
As long as you're not on old-gen consoles.
Well, yeah. Sorry, do apologise, guys. I thought about that. But until you want to touch it, until you want to go in and interact with it.
Yeah.
And so you're in Japantown. There's so many beautiful-looking food stalls, burger vans, and restaurants and things like that. I can only interact with one of them.
Yeah.
And that annoys me. And that's the same thing with the bars and rip docks. You wanted that experience as well. That there was just something to do. There was a reason why we'd want to drive halfway across the city to go into a bar, and things like that. There's a lot of the city, if you think about it, because you can't interact with a huge amount of stuff. There's actually massive amounts of the city where there's no point in going down at all.
It's completely empty. It's
filler.
A lot of people have referred to it as filler. There's filler everywhere.
Yeah, which is a bit sad, really, because somebody spent a lot of time designing 3 or 4 streets of city to look to a certain way, and people go, "Oh, there's no point. I'll just drive around that because there's nothing in there for me to do."
Yeah, I think the main thing for vendors for me is that it is a copy and paste job of Witcher. Witcher 3. This is. We have a picture on screen now, but the look of Witcher's buying and trading and selling screen is exactly the same as Cyberpunk's, to the point where Witcher actually did it better. You had weapons would be sold for more gold at a blacksmith's, opposed to selling food to a bar or whatever, but you get more money depending on where you're putting your stuff. And it appears, and you said this off camera, which made me laugh, is that you could effectively, if you had enough junk in your pocket, you could trade a Ripper Doctor, a few hundred ashtrays and a hot dog to get your arm replaced. It's infuriating when you're promised so much and what you're getting isn't received. And loads of people have expressed frustration, and we're trying to kind of keep away from a rant here. But that's the one thing about vendors is the fact that I think that could really be brought into the world. You don't have to go to a loading screen or a kind of separate out of the game page where you do all that stuff. That would make it A, next gen, and B, more immersive.
Yeah. Well, you said something. So I well, going off on a tangent here, but we were talking about buying cars. And I said, it seems such a strange mechanic that how it worked is that if I pick a random character, Dino calls up. You don't know who Dino is, but he calls you anyway off your phone and goes, oh, jobs, whatever. Okay, cool. Then randomly, as if this would happen in real life, you get a text message going, got a car for sale, 30k. You interested?
Yeah.
Okay. So you go to this car in a random location. Nobody's around it. Nobody's supervising it. It's just abandoned somewhere. And you go above it. There's the number, 30k, written above the car. Hit square. It's yours. Wow, lazy. And you kind of thought there was something more to it, because I remember that the video, there was a scene between you and Jackie.
Yeah.
Where you actually purchase a car. Now I can't remember if you're handing the woman like a credit chip or shard, and then she's handing you the keys. I can't remember what it is, but there's that interaction with somebody that you purchase in that car.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, a dealership and all that. Maybe that's something. And then obviously you can tell these guys, but I thought you came up with a genius idea, because I wasn't too sure what you're on about at first or how it would work, but you solved it.
The funny thing is, it's not even me that solved it. It's Test Drive Unlimited 2 that solved it. Over 10 years old now, I believe that game is. Way over 10 years. Where is the dealerships in the game? I don't want to buy some second-hand rust bucket off of some guy I've only just met. I want to go to a dealership and buy a brand spanking new car that I can call my own from day one. Why can I not test drive these vehicles? Why can I not see how they feel? Give me a 3-4 minute timer where I just get to go out with the car, and once that timer's up, I'll load back into where I'm buying the car from. There's loads of ways that you can do it, but there's so many opportunities to make these experiences better, especially with how the vehicles drive as well. They don't drive very well, and we're not going to get into that sort of this is everything wrong, ranty sort of buggy glitchiness. But especially at the moment as they are, and some of them are quite clunky and some of them aren't, you would want to test drive those to see if it's something you can put up with. I don't know where the dealerships are, people, and I don't know where my test drives are, but I want them.
Man has spoken.
Man has had little rant, and he's now okay again.
The last thing, which I just mentioned, by the way, was the fast travel.
Yes, another way of getting you out of your immersion.
Wow. Now, this is my littlest, tiniest rant, but the laziest thing about this world. Now, we have no trains, we have no taxis, even though that both kind of had a bit of a show in the game through trailers or whatever, or conversations. So what they decided to do was going, right, we can't provide taxi, we can't provide train. So to keep this realistic, futuristic, next gen, we'll get the player, me, to go to a box. People can call it kiosk, whatever. It's a box. And I will select that box, and then I can select another box somewhere else on that map, and it'll take me there.
Yeah.
Wow. Come on. Yeah. I mean, it's just, it's almost, I don't get it. As I said, I could have gotten more. I mean, I wrote train here. Everybody knows that was supposed to be in the game. Everybody knows that there's a station there, and it's a big steaming pile of mashed potato at this moment in time, because they've kind of
got a half-rendered, coded mess that they started and didn't finish.
Yeah, and I know I kind of went off about the fast travel, but that's one of those things where you look and kind of go, it's not even bad planning. It's not even someone turned around and gone, I didn't think of that.
No.
They all had the idea because they kept singing. They did a big song and dance about it all the time. And I don't know what happened. I don't know whether security came in and threw everybody out the building.
Could have done. Fire check, I don't know. Fire drill.
I don't know whether, I don't know his name, but the CEO of CD Projekt Red came running down at 5:30 on a Friday with a fax going, and everybody had to run out the building or something. I don't know, but it's like, it doesn't even look like someone went, I had an idea. Damn it, I didn't have time to finish it. Let me just cap this off. You know,
Yeah.
It's not. They just went, no, I'll leave it as is.
Yeah. I'll leave it as a half-rendered coded mess, as I explained it.
We both love the game.
Mm-hmm.
I talk about it daily. This is why we're doing this channel, because poor Dan's ears were bleeding and wanted to share the suffering with everybody else. But so sorry, guys, you're now in that role. But I think why I'm so passionate about it is because it's got the ability.
Yeah.
It's got the potential to be incredible. Now, it's a great game. As I said, for what I played, the main quest, the side stuff, I really enjoy. As I said before, it's like a painting, so it's a beautiful picture, fantastic. But it's when you start trying to do a bit of a deep dive into the game.
Yeah.
And I know people sit there and go, oh, you'll find problems in every game. No, this is it. And people sit there and go, oh, people are being harsh because, Skyrim, people keep throwing Skyrim as an example, going, oh, nobody went to Bethesda. The difference is that was glitches, and we're not going to talk about glitches.
No.
Right? That's the thing. Even though Skyrim had its glitches, it still had all this immersion stuff. And for years, you and me, we talked really late last night, but for years I said to you, all the way through the PS3, hooked on Skyrim. And funny enough, when it was remastered, boom, got it again. And it was only polished. It wasn't like new stuff had gone in, because it keeps you sucked into the world. Whereas this, unfortunately, I think has an incredibly short lifespan. It does. Because there is just no immersion to make you just want to spend a day in Night City.
Yeah, and it's already been reported, of course, that 75% of Steam players have stopped playing the game. So, unfortunately, if you don't add that immersion in, if you don't make the world around you a living, breathing thing that you can explore without having to go to your next waypoint, very quickly that's going to become quite dry. I know that I haven't finished the game yet, but when I finish the game, if I finish the story, at the moment I'm putting that game down, and I won't have a lot of motivation to pick it back up for a very long time, because there's nothing else to do after you've done the story. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. That was our take on it so far. To go into the massive pot of everyone else's takes on this thing. Let us know in the comments. Is there anything that you feel we've missed? Is there anything more important to you? Have you played the game? Have you given up playing the game? Let us know down in the comments below. And if you did enjoy this, there's plenty more content, not just about Cyberpunk, but many other things that we're going to be bringing up. So make sure to like, share, and subscribe. But from me, that's all. Kit, anything else you want to say?
No, that's everything. It's been a pleasure, guys, and we hope to see you again real soon.